Every 4 years, the Democratic and Republican parties come forward and tell the working people of this country all that they're going to do for them, how they're going to end unemployment, raise wages, lower prices, and stop war. Gene Debs didn't believe a word of it. He believed that the only way that workers could protect their own interests was to have a political party of their own, a socialist party.
The workers know that under Republican rule and Democratic rule, conditions for them have remained unchanged. They know that under the administration of both, depressions come, that unemployment is certain, and that many of their number are doomed to drift into poverty and crime, and finally end their lives as beggars, suicides, in prison cells, or on the scaffold.
I come from a place where there is violence in the streets. The homeless sleep on the street. The prostitutes stroll the street. Guns and drugs run the streets. And bodies are found under trees where the leaves get bleached by the blood from the street from them boys carrying their heat because they can't trust the streets. Corner stores with bars on the doors and the windows because of the thieves in the streets. Gun shells hit the concrete when the heat echoes in the streets. I can't sleep. I'm worried about the streets. What if I get caught up and end up on the streets? What if I lose my job and have to sleep on the streets? What if I do my best to raise my kids and they become victims of the streets? Then who's the convicted criminal for releasing them to the streets? Why are the streets so cold but carry so much heat? And in the hood, there's a church on every corner of the street. They use the Assembly of God to hustle in the street. But you can't hustle a hustler because he was brought up on the streets. The streets has its own spirit and it lives beneath the streets. Beneath the gravel, under the clay, you'll find the grief of the streets that you thought was extinct. Street slang is used when them boys meet and greet on the street to make them pharmaceutical acts to get that bread on the street. And even them boys that protect and serve gotta eat. So they don't keep it 100, so they make moves on the streets. The streets is more than stoplight signs, parks, and places to eat. It's a place where the good turns to bad and bad to worse because the evil never sleeps. The pain runs deep like them big roots on the trees on the streets, where I see OGs standing on the corners holding their drinks because their dreams got swallowed up by the lifestyles of the streets. They got kids coming out the wombs murdering like gangsters from the streets. Schools are getting shot up so the teachers can't teach. And where are all the leaders because everybody wants to preach? The churches are empty and if they're full, the people are asleep. And where's Malcolm and Martin because the men done fell asleep? And where are all the mothers for the daughters, for the little girls on the streets? Because we got kids raising kids because the adults are acting weak. Want to be their kids' friends so they let them run the streets. And once they leave the house, they get raised by the streets. Why are the streets so cold but carry so much heat? They say we done already lost the battle to the streets, so face the defeat. But I know somebody that can change the streets.